Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I'm Devi Daly, and we have a Vinyasa to Yin practice today, which is going to be kind of my own flavor of Vinyasa, what I like to do and the way I like to do Vinyasa. So it'll be about half and half Vinyasa and Yin. Let's get started sitting here in Seiza. Sit on top of your heels or use any props that will make this more comfortable for you. And close the eyes, let the hands rest comfortably in the lap. And take a few breaths. Enjoying your breath. Saying hello to your breath, maybe for the first time today. Soften your jaw. Soften your face. Soften the tops of your feet and your shins. And take 3 more full breaths in and out. And as you exhale the next time, let the eyes float open, bring the arms out to either side with the palms facing up, and taking finger fans, we'll take the pinkies in and let the rest of the fingers follow one at a time. So ring finger, middle finger, index, thumb, and then bend the wrists, bend the elbows, and now squeeze the back of the heart with your shoulder blades and press forward with 2 hands, 90 degrees at the wrists. And turn the hands now, palms up, and the same move. So pinkies first, the rest of the fingers one at a time, thumbs last. Pull it in, and hands come behind you. Maybe they cross behind the head or whatever feels right here to squeeze the back of the heart and press it back out. And again, palms up, pinkies first, thumbs last. Pull it in, one joint at a time, and exhale, press forward. And turn the hands, pinkies in, 1 finger at a time, elbows, shoulders, squeeze and press. And one more time, each direction, pull it in, pinkies first, thumbs last, wrists, elbows, shoulders, press forward. And pinkies first, thumbs last, pull it in, squeeze and exhale. Beautiful. Take the hands down to the earth. Take it into child's pose. Let the knees be as wide as you'd like to in this first child's pose. And connect with the earth here through your hands. Connect with the earth through your heart. And feel your breath. Hear the sound of your breath against the ground. And coming up to hands and knees. And cat and cow, inhale, lift up the gaze, take a little back bend, and exhale, round the spine, chin toward the chest. And inhale, open the spine, open the chest, lift the gaze, now tuck the toes under, and take it into downward facing dog. And bend the knees, press the heels down one at a time in your dog pose. Good, and now let's walk the feet forward toward the hands. Come into Uttanasana at the top of your mat. Hang here. Let your legs be as wide as your mat, or wider than usual for Uttanasana for this first one. And let yourself sway side to side. It might feel good to trace the fingers along the ground or to hold opposite elbows, or maybe your arms are just hanging and not contacting. Good. Release the hands back down and lift up your gaze into a halfway lift. Your fingers can be on the floor for halfway lift or on the shins. And release back down. And let's do that again. Inhale. So feeling kind of a back bend feeling here. And exhale. And one more time. Strong move for the spine. Exhale down and soften the knees and ragdoll as you bring yourself up one vertebra at a time. The spine stacks up on itself. Take it slow. Middle spine, upper spine, and then the head comes up on top. And with your inhale, sweep your arms out and up over your head. And lift your gaze up toward your thumbs as your palms meet. Take a little back bend and exhale. Bring it down, hands in front of the heart, all the way over the legs. Bend the knees as much as you'd like to here. And we're staying in this wide-legged theme to begin with. You can walk the legs a little bit if it feels good. And now step both legs back, coming into plank pose. Inhale your breath here. And now drop the knees, come all the way down onto the belly, lift up into cobra pose, low or high, you choose. And exhale back into downward facing dog. And let's make our dog wide now. So the dog feet are almost as wide as your mat, or you can feel it out, but just thinking about doing something wider than usual. And from here, we're going to plant the left foot, lift the right leg up, inhale the breath, and take the leg forward and through to a lunge. And taking it into dragon twist, left hand on the ground, right arm lifts up. Okay, bring it back down. Hands both on the inside of the foot. And go ahead and drop the back knee to the ground and taking it into this waking dragon, which just means you're in a lunge and moving all around, letting the hips come side to side, letting the front of the thigh stretch. You could take this elbow onto the knee or have both hands on the floor. And if you like to come down on the elbows, you could do that. You could roll onto the outside edge of this foot if it feels good. Good, and now coming back to hands on either side of the front foot and lifting up into a crescent lunge. Arms come up over the head. Inhaling here, and as you exhale, opening the elbows out into these cactus arms, the dragon wings we call them. And now take the hands straight back, fingers straight back, lean forward over this leg and circle these arms around and all the way out in front of you. Inhale the breath all the way back up to your crescent lunge. And exhale, hands down to the ground. And now into this runner's stretch. Blocks under the hands can be helpful here if this is an uncomfortable position for you, or if your hamstrings are particularly short or tight. So feeling this in the hamstrings, your right thigh, the back of the thigh. You could let your head relax forward. You could let your spine round here. It might feel good to let the spine round. Getting into all that good stuff in the back body, the fascia. Good, let's bring it forward onto the front foot and plank pose. Step it back, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale and drop the knees, or you can keep them up if you're into that. And we come all the way down into cobra, low or high, and into downward dog. Wide dog once again. Any movement of hips and legs that feels good to you here, go for it. And now let's plant the right foot as we take the left leg up into three-legged dog. Go ahead and let this hip lift up as much as you want. What feels good here? And now take that big step forward into the lunge. Taking your dragon twist with the right hand on the ground, left arm up. And And bring it back down, hands on either side of the foot as you drop the back knee. And now both hands on the inside of the foot, bringing it into this waking dragon. And one of the things that's nice to do here sometimes is to not try and have the hands real close to the foot, but instead come off the mat. Ignore that mat boundary. Even with your foot, you can let these limbs, these hands, these feet do their own thing as you dip into the hip, dipping in and out of it, finding any twists that feel good, maybe coming down on the elbows. Good, coming back up, hands on either side of the foot as you come into your crescent lunge. Arms up over the head. And open the elbows out into the dragon wings, shining upward through the heart, through the face. And now continue back with the hands, fingers pointed straight back. Lean forward, circle the arms around and out in front, and sweep everything back up. Inhale, exhale it back down, and bring it into the runner's stretch. Softening over your left leg. Breathing. Might feel good to move the hips side to side. I always do that in this. I move my hips just a little bit right and left. And take it forward to your lunge again. Tuck the back toes and step back to plank pose. Inhale the breath and exhale, drop the knees, come all the way down into the belly, lift up into cobra. And exhale to downward dog. And now from this downward dog, you can step or walk or jump forward to the top of the mat to come into your wide-legged Uttanasana forward bend. And now sweep your arms out to the sides, bring them all the way up to standing, palms together, look up at the thumbs, lean back if that feels good, and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep them out and up, arms over the head, and exhale, pour forward over the legs, lifting up into halfway lift. And exhale it back down, step back to plank pose, inhale here. And exhale with or without the knees, chaturanga, and inhale to cobra or upward dog. And exhale to downward dog. And now lift your right leg up and back behind you, a three-legged dog. Take a big step forward and drop the back heel down, lift up into warrior one. 3 breaths here. Feeling strong in the thighs, strong in the core of the body as you bring the palms together now and open it out into warrior two. Gazing out over your right fingertips. Nice deep lunge in your thighs. Challenge yourself if it feels right today. And now straighten your right leg. Take it over the leg into triangle pose. Feel free to use a block or two under your right hand. Great, and now bring it back up into warrior two pose. Inhale the breath here and exhale, spiral over the front leg. Step back to plank. Inhale the breath and drop the knees or keep them up as you come to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, down dog. And lift your left leg up and back. And step it forward into your lunge, taking it right into warrior one. The back heel comes down, lift it up. Inhale the breath and exhale, take it into warrior two. Bending nice and deep into the left leg. Nice deep breathing here. And straighten the front leg, triangle pose, hinging and coming down. Lengthening up through the heart and feeling the heart as if it's extending up through your fingertips. And inhaling back up to warrior two. And then spiraling down over the front leg, back into plank pose. Inhale, chaturanga, cobra or up dog, and down dog. Inhale here, and as you exhale, bend the knees, step, walk, or jump forward to the top of the mat. Lengthen the heart forward, and exhale, release back down. Legs can be narrow or wide as you wish. Let's sweep the arms out, bring them all the way up over the head, palms together, gaze up, lean back if it feels good, and exhale, hands to the heart. All right, inhale, sweep the arms up over the head, and exhale, open the arms this time, pour the heart forward, come over the legs, chin toward the chest. Lengthen up through the chest, halfway up. And exhale, come on back down. Step or jump back right into your chaturanga with or without the knees. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And lifting the right leg up and back behind you. Inhale, feel the back bend here as you lift up a little higher. And now bring the knee in toward the nose. And inhale, lift the leg back up. And exhale, knee toward the left armpit. Inhale, leg back up. And knee toward the right armpit. And inhale up. Big step forward now with the right leg. Back heel down, warrior one. Inhale up, warrior two. Exhale out and open. Reverse warrior, inhale your breath here. And straighten the front leg and come into triangle pose. And now challenging yourself with a little balance in half moon pose. So take your left hand on your hip, step your back leg in till you can get your right hand comfortably on the ground, or use a block if this isn't comfortable to do. And then begin to lift this back leg up. And this will be easiest if you keep your gaze down at the ground. If you're comfortable there and want to challenge yourself, you turn your gaze out toward the left. Maybe lift the left arm up. Maybe lift the gaze up toward the ceiling or toward the sky. And now, as gracefully as you can, returning to warrior two. Right into reverse warrior. And spiral down over the front leg, step back into plank pose. And exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. And lift the left leg up and back. Inhale the breath, feel the back bend. And exhale, step the knee, or no, don't step the knee, but bring the knee in toward the nose. And inhale, take the leg back up. And knee in toward the right armpit. And inhale, bring it up and back. And knee in toward the left armpit. Send it up and back. And big step forward, warrior one. Lift it up. Warrior two, open it out. Reverse warrior. Straighten the front leg right into triangle pose. Feel your breath. Feel the connection of your feet to the ground. And now take this top hand down to the hip, turn your gaze down, shorten your stance so you can get your left hand on the floor and lift the back leg up. And come into your phase of it. Maybe you have a block under your left hand. Maybe you're keeping your gaze at the ground. Or maybe you're venturing into opening up to the right side with your gaze, with your heart, maybe with the arm. Maybe looking all the way up. Feel your balance. Feel what parts of you are working to stay balanced here. And now, as well as you can, warrior two, gracefully stepping back right into reverse warrior. And exhale, spiral down over the front foot. Plank pose, inhale, chaturanga, up dog or cobra, and down dog. And bending the knees, step, walk, or jump forward to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, hands on the shins. Exhale down. Inhale, sweep the arms out all the way up to stand. And bring the palms down in front of the heart. And releasing the hands to your side. And coming to some standing balances. So take your balance, your weight, onto your left leg and lift your right leg up. Maybe bringing it up high enough to hold on to the shin or the knee. And maybe holding on to the outside edge of the foot or index and middle finger around the big toe. Left hand to the hip so that you can extend the leg forward. So maybe you've got some bend in your knee here. And that's totally fine. Maybe you're working toward pressing that heel forward. And then start to bring it out to the side. So if you're not holding the foot, you're just taking a knee out to the side. If you're holding the foot, you're taking the whole leg out to the side. And you could take your left arm, whoa. You can take your left arm out to help balance you. And maybe gaze out over your left fingertips. And releasing back to the center. Find your balance again on 2 feet. And take it to the second side. Left knee comes up. And take a moment to just get your balance on that standing leg. And maybe you're taking one or both hands to the knee. Maybe you're taking a hand to the foot. Maybe you're extending your leg forward. And now taking your knee or leg out to the side. Right arm can come out to the other side to help with your balance. And if you fall out of it, you fall out of it. And bring it back to the center. And take both hands back to the hips. Both feet to the ground. Good job. Taking it into a wide stance and forward bend down into a squat. And squatting here with your heels on the ground if that works for you, or if your ankles are like mine, your heels are going to stay up, and that's all good too. Take your right hand onto the ground with your upper arm bracing your inner knee and the left arm up and back, opening up into this nice squat twist. And bring it back down, left hand on the ground, elbow inside the knee, right arm up and back. And come on back down. And now you might be someone who has experience with the crow pose. If you like to do your arm balances, go for it. You can also use blocks or something to support your head in crow, which is a wonderful trick I like to share with people. And maybe your feet don't even come off the ground. Maybe you just make contact with a block or 2 blocks or the floor. Or maybe you make a little bit of air there. Keep playing with it for another breath or 2. And releasing down to child's pose. And taking a few moments to rest in child's pose. And let your breath catch up to your body. Let your body catch up to your breath. And now coming back up and into a forearm plank that we're going to hold for 1 minute. So palms can be down or the hands can be clasped. And the trick in holding this pose for 1 minute is to not actually hold still, but instead to let yourself move around, shift your weight forward and back, side to side. And feel what's working to make you stay here. It's your core, your abs, your thighs, your glutes, your hamstrings. You could even lift the hips up a few inches and let them sink a few inches. And this all just helps so that not the same muscles are getting fatigued. We've got 10 more seconds. Three, 2, 1. And release. Bring the arms out in front of you, palms down, forehead to the earth. And just connecting with earth here. Connecting with earth, with the whole front of your body. And now lift your chest as you sweep your arms back and alongside of the body and lift up the legs into this locust pose. And move your locust pose around as well, shifting side to side, right and left. You could lift one leg up a little more and then the other. Take the arms way out to the side. And take them way out in front of you and then bend them back into cactus arms. Inhale, one more lift, everything comes up. And exhale back down, pressing up and back, child's pose. And coming up to hands and knees, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And from this downward dog, lift your right leg up and back and open the hip up and let the foot hang toward the opposite side. And you might stay here, or if you're comfortable with the drop back, go for it. Weight is on the left hand, right arm reaches up and back. You could look up at the hand if it feels good and inhale. And now bring it back around, 3-legged dog, and take the leg forward into sleeping swan or pigeon pose. And just like we did in that waking dragon earlier, we were playing around with different tilts of the pelvis. Let yourself do a little kind of a waking swan. The swan is saying, I'm gonna just sort of work out the kinks here in my hips and pelvis. Lift up my chest, puff my feathers, and then eventually come on down into a position that Doesn't hurt the knee, ideally. And you can, if you have knee pain, try leaning all the way over onto your right hip and bending your back knee and coming down that way. So we're taking 3 minutes here in our first yin pose. And if you just don't find this to be an effective pose for stretching the glutes on the right side, that's what we're going for, then take a different pose where you're sitting and having your shins on top of each other in this square pose and coming forward instead. Or you could have both feet on the ground. And you might be resting on your elbows, you might have your forehead on a block or on the ground. Connecting with your breath. Now that your body is starting this process of cooling down after the vinyasa, after all the movement, now making this transition to a relative state of stillness. And now slowly releasing. Tuck the back toes, step back into plank pose. Inhale your breath here and through a vinyasa with or without the knees. And back into downward dog. From your downward dog, lift your left leg up. Inhale, open up the hip as you exhale. And stay here with the foot hanging toward the opposite side or drop it back if that feels good to you. Lifting up through the hips, one more breath. And now bring it back around, left leg up, and take the left leg all the way forward into swan pose. So the waking swan to begin with, just let your hips kind of wiggle side to side. See where your hip sockets are making themselves known today. Everyone's hips are different, so your foot might be down here, might be up here, your knee might be out to the side or farther in to get the best stretch in your glutes. So feel it out now as you come forward. And we'll start the timer now for 3 minutes. You might notice one side is more flexible than the other. That's pretty common. And it often has more to do with the shape of our bones than with any imbalance that we need to worry about in the muscle or fascia. We're not all built completely symmetrically. Noticing the blood moving through you, the pulse of your heart. Where do you feel your pulse in your body? And slowly release and just roll over onto the left hip. Bring the back leg around to the front and lie down on your back. Taking a few moments to just rest on the back, feel your body here. And now taking a spinal twist. So first let's just bring the knees in, hug them in, and lift the head up toward the knees. And let the head back down and take both knees over to the right, twisting with your left arm reaching out to the left. If you like crossing the knees in the twist, you could cross left knee over the right. Continuing to soften with each breath, with each exhalation. Feel your weight surrendering itself into the earth a little more. And slowly bring the knees back up to the center and take them over to the other side. Your version of spinal twist. And now, bring the legs back to center. Rest at the center. Legs can be bent or straight. Any comfortable position. Close your eyes and feel what's happening inside of your body. Feel the movement of energy after the twist. Feel the movement of the breath. And now bend your knees, hug them in, and circle the knees around about 3 times in one direction. And then 3 times in the other direction. And roll onto one side. We're going to do your choice of a back bend in the Yin Yoga way. So I'll do the half saddle. And so you can do 2 sides of half saddle with me, or if the full saddle, if the full saddle's in your practice, then you can do that for 4 minutes. Otherwise, it's going to be 2 minutes per side. So right leg back if you're doing one side, and you could lean back on the elbows. If that's too much, you could lean back on the hands. You could also bend the left knee and kind of gauge your stretch that way if this is too much to have the legs straight. Or if you're comfortable coming all the way back, what we want to feel here is a stretch in the quadriceps of the left leg. And for some people, it's better with the toes pointed out, and for others, it's good with the toes pointed straight back. So here comes 2 minutes. And some people like to bend this other leg, left leg, and open it out to the side or keep it straight up. Whatever floats your boat. And if you're doing one leg, then slowly push yourself up or just roll away from the bent leg and take it to the second side. And whether you're in half saddle or saddle, if the knees pop up off the ground, that's really not a problem as long as you're feeling the stretch in the front of the thigh. That's really what's important. Front of the thigh, front of the hip, and if you're in that full saddle, You're also probably feeling something in your spine, in your sacrum and lumbar spine area. And releasing, carefully push yourself up or roll away from the stretch and come onto your back. Hug your knees in. Place the feet on the ground now and lift your hips up, coming into just a little bridge pose. No big deal, just lifting the hips up. Take them back down to the ground and do that 2 more times. Just feel your glutes engage, feel the muscles of your low back. After that saddle pose, half saddle pose. And releasing down, let the soles of the feet come together, knees open wide, and hands rest on your belly. And now bring the knees back together, roll over to one side to come up to sit. And coming into dragonfly pose. So open the legs as wide as feels okay for you. It doesn't have to be your most maximum intense wideness. And in fact, it's probably better to be within that a bit. So 3 minutes here to stretch into the groins and the hamstrings, backs of the legs. You can come down with your hands on the floor. You could use blocks under your elbows, or you could stack your elbows on blocks or a bolster and rest your forehead. Make yourself comfortable. And for the last minute here, if it feels good, you could kind of explore side to side over one leg and then over the other. Slowly releasing, coming up and transitioning all the way onto your back for a final relaxation. So do make yourself comfortable in any way you'd like to, a bolster under the knees if you want, an eye pillow, a blanket covering you, extra clothes to stay warm. Feel free to spread out as much as you'd like, sprawl out. And taking this time to let yourself be free, free to feel and explore the sensations that are arising at the end of this practice. And let yourself be free to notice your thoughts, to go on a journey with your thoughts if that's where your mind is pulled. Or to just let your thoughts drift by, but knowing whatever bubbles up to the surface in this space you've created for your practice, for yourself, whatever bubbles up is wanting to bubble up. The mind, the brain has a natural healing instinct. And when something bubbles up to the surface in the safe space of relaxation, that's your brain wanting you to tell it, is this something I need to worry about, or is this something I can just relax about? Is this something I need to be a little more engaged with, give more attention to? Give more tenderness to. And sometimes there's just no thought at all at the end of a practice like this. There's just full immersion into the sensations that you feel. As if the mind is being magnetized to the body. Let yourself be and drift and rest for one more minute. And now taking a deeper breath into your belly and into your heart. And exhaling, stretch your arms up, take a yawn. And bend the knees and roll to one side. Very slowly make your way up. And palms together in front of the heart. That is our practice. Thank you for joining me and have a wonderful rest of your day. That's our practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. And if you haven't checked out my membership site, it's where me and my community of yogis follow a daily schedule together, and there are special programs for beginners. There's Yin Yoga, there's Yang Yoga, and you can find out more about this at devidailyyoga.com. There's also a special offer in the first comment down below. And if you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to my channel and check out my other yoga videos. And if you got this far, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I'd love to hear from those who take these practices with me. Thanks again. See you next time.